The ad from Illinois State Senator Mike Jacobs called Reflect makes claims about his Republican opponent Neil Anderson and how he wants to make cuts to Medicaid. We will show you the entire ad first and then break down the claims.
When Tea Party candidate Neil Anderson was asked recently,
"Where are the cuts going to get made?"
Anderson's answer, not waste or tax breaks for millionaires.
Medicaid is probably the biggest one.
Medicaid, healthcare our seniors rely on. Anderson's Tea Party funders want billions in cuts to Medicaid that would take healthcare from children and force seniors out of nursing homes.
Medicaid is probably the biggest one.
Tea Party candidate Neil Anderson, too extreme, in his own words. When Tea Party candidate Neil Anderson was asked recently,
"Where are the cuts going to get made?"
Anderson's answer, not waste or tax breaks for millionaires.
Medicaid is probably the biggest one.
It is true Neil Anderson said this at a forum in 2012, but he was answering a slightly different question.
Those are taxable bodies. Medicaid is probably the biggest one, and we need to reform the pension system.
Topics discussed at the forum included pension reform. Someone in the audience eventually asking where cuts would be made if the temporary income tax signed into law in January 2011 was repealed. Here's a longer version of the back and forth.
That's where the cuts going to get made. Sure. Well, this was imposed in January of 11, and I mean, what have we seen it do since it's been implemented? It hasn't.
Probably say replacement tax.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't gone to any of the debt, which is the biggest problem in Illinois. We need to bring union, non-union. We need to bring jobs here, because jobs runs our economy. And if we don't do that, we're in bad shape. Look at Caterpillar. The CEO of Caterpillar said, if you bought the land, the building, and the equipment, I still wouldn't build here because of the business environment. We got people leaving, businesses leaving. Those are taxable bodies. Medicaid is probably the biggest one. And we need to reform the pension system.
Medicaid, healthcare our seniors rely on. Anderson's Tea Party funders want billions in cuts to Medicaid that would take healthcare from children and force seniors out of nursing homes.
The ad refers to an article written in May 2012 by Dan Proft, president of Illinois Liberty PAC. The article is more of a commentary, expressing opposition to what he describes as Democrats' non-reform of the state's Medicaid program. It goes on to say Illinois Liberty PAC will monitor votes of Republican lawmakers, Republican legislators who vote to raise taxes, increase spending, grow the Medicaid rolls, will be targeted for replacement in the 2014 primary election season. The Jacobs campaign says Proft and his PAC have bankrolled Anderson's campaigns. However, records from the Illinois State Board of Elections show neither he nor his PAC have contributed directly to the Anderson campaign or when he ran in 2012. Some of Anderson's campaign contributors do include Citizens for Christine Radonia, Illinois Senate Minority Leader, Citizens for Dale A. Ryder, a Republican state senator, Two Party System, a political action committee, and the Republican State Senate Campaign Committee. The ad refers to the Senate GOP reality check budget. That budget plan from the Illinois Senate Republican Caucus in March 2011 called for major Medicaid reforms with a targeted reduction in spending of $1.3 billion. However, Democrats also called for a reduction in Medicaid spending. In his budget speech the next year, Governor Quinn said he and his administration were developing a roadmap for Medicaid restructuring and would work with lawmakers to find ways to manage Medicaid spending. A few months later, Governor Quinn signed a bill into law known as the Save Medicaid Access and Resources Together Act that made changes to address the significant spending and liability deficit the medical assistance program budget had. Changes resulted in savings and revenues to the program of $1.6 billion. $1.36 billion of that was from reductions in optional services, eligibility verification, and other efforts. Senator Mike Jacobs voted for the bill.
Medicaid is probably the biggest one.
Tea Party candidate Neil Anderson, too extreme, in his own words.
Our research finds parts of this ad are true, others are misleading. On Sunday, we will be fact-checking an ad from the National Republican Senatorial Committee targeting Congressman Bruce Braley.